Hi there, good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner. We have Eric Chilton, Jalen Gilkey, and Chad Silver. How happy are you to be with us?
You guys just can't get rid of me. I feel like every couple weeks I just show back up again.
I'm literally trying, and it's not working.
I know.
We've talked to management, not happening.
Listen, I advocate. We want Chad.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Today's Tuesday, right? I was off yesterday, so it's kind of like a weird Monday. But it's hot outside still. I know that we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. But first, the big story that we have to get to today, it is continuing coverage of that wild crime spree that unfolded around this time yesterday. Winston-Salem police say they believe a man killed his mother and grandmother before shooting into a police station there. WFMY News 2's Adore Chumba is live in Winston-Salem with an update on the investigation. Adore.
The District 1 police substation is still taped off today as multiple investigations continue into yesterday's incident. Now, the Winston-Salem police say they're expecting to file more charges against the suspect, 26-year-old William Coleman Scott, and that update is expected sometime today. Now, Scott faces charges of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer after police say he opened fire on officers around 3:30 p.m. Monday. He was confronted at Haynes Park, where investigators say he continued to exchange gunfire with police. Now, Scott was later taken into custody and then to a hospital. No officers were hurt, but one sustained injuries when his vehicle crashed while responding. Now, Forsyth County investigators also say they found Scott's mother dead at her home on Craigmore Road in Clemens. His 84-year-old grandmother was also found dead at her home on Taborview Lane in Winston-Salem. A distraught neighbor who didn't want to go on camera said she last saw the grandmother around 11 a.m. on Monday. She said the grandmother was taking out the trash and they greeted each other cheerfully. Again, Winston-Salem police investigators are not saying very much right now about the case, but they are saying that it is still an active investigation. And again, as I said, they are expecting to file more charges against the suspect, as we expect that sometime today.
Such a sad situation. Thank you, Adore. We are still expecting to get some new information related to this case. In the meantime, you can read our extensive coverage on WFMYnews2.com.
Let's take a look at some more headlines in your 4 to 5 roundup. Greensboro police are investigating a death at Burl-Mil Park. They tell us officers found a man unconscious on the Big Loop Trail. Emergency crews took him to the hospital where he died. Police are treating this as a death investigation, but they do not expect or suspect anything suspicious. This is a developing story, and we will update you once we know more. Earlier today, crews broke ground on renovations at Southern Alamance High School. Soon the school will have a bigger cafeteria, new classrooms, administrative space, and additional security measures. Voters approved a bond to pay for these changes, and Superintendent Bruce Benson says it's been a long time coming and will let the school system keep up with the growth in Alamance County. President Joe Biden will soon meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ahead of the summit, a CBS poll shows that most Americans want Biden to take a tough stand with Putin, as he's promised to do. The meeting comes in the wake of cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure, including a suspected attack on the Colonial Pipeline that caused a run on gas in our country. Officials believe those cyber criminals are based in Russia. And after becoming the first state to go on a lockdown, California is now reopening. The state lifted most of its COVID restrictions, calling it a grand reopening. So starting today, there are no more limits on masks for vaccinated people, social distancing, or capacity limits in most places. Among all 50 states, California has the third lowest infection rate.
I am happy to share a big decrease in one of our local coronavirus numbers today. This graph shows the number of people in Guilford County hospitals with the virus. The latest number is 14. It's 6 lower than our record we set a couple of weeks ago. Keep in mind, at our peak in January, hospitals were bursting at the seams with 275 coronavirus patients. The gaps here are the days the county doesn't report this data, typically over the weekend. On the state level, this number also continues on a months-long downward trend. The latest number is 510. It's 26 higher than yesterday, but still lower than nearly every day in the past couple of months. It's been more than a year since our numbers have been this low. Now, it can be easy to forget we are still technically in a pandemic. Local health experts are warning against falling back into old habits.
The pandemic is not over. Many places in the world continue to struggle with COVID. You've seen stories on the news about India and now in the United Kingdom. In our area, we still have patients in our hospitals. We still have individuals in our communities who have not been vaccinated, whether that be young children who are not yet eligible for vaccine or individuals who have chosen not to be vaccinated. I want to ask every person in our community, if you've not gotten the vaccine and you're eligible, please do. The higher we can get that vaccination rate up, the better off our communities will be going forward, and the more protected we will all be from COVID-19 variants.
Dr. Priest also talked about the Delta variant. We've heard a lot about this lately. He says it appears to be more contagious and can cause more serious disease. He says about 10% of cases in the U.S. can be attributed to this variant, and that number is likely doubling every 2 weeks. He says it seems people who are fully vaccinated have shown signs of protection against the Delta variant. And don't miss this, the Women's Resource Center is holding a vaccine clinic next week. It'll be at their office on Summit Avenue in Greensboro from noon to 4. They're giving the Pfizer vaccine, so it's open to anyone 12 or older. The first 25 people to get vaccinated there will get a $25 voucher to the bargain box.
Well, temperatures a little bit better today. You could feel it, you could definitely feel the lower humidity. I mean, we had dew point readings in the 50s, which means very comfortable. This is more like almost like a fall type situation when it comes to dew points. Once you get those dew points up to 70 or above, that's a tropical moisture situation. We're nowhere close to that. Current readings are very nice out here. I mean, you're looking at 82 degrees in Greensboro. You see some mid-80s in Winston-Salem at 84. If you head back north and west, you notice some of the areas, especially higher elevations, do go into the 70s. Anytime you see drier air like that, there'll be bigger differences in temperatures because the drier the air is, the more quickly it'll heat or cool. And in this case, we're seeing those big differences from Troy at 88 and then Greensboro in the low 80s. And then if you head north and west, you're in the low 70s in some cases. So big differences. Overnight lows tonight, 60, which guaranteed some of our northern counties will see 50s for tomorrow morning. It will feel very nice. 83 for the high tomorrow. We're going with mostly sunny skies. You'll see a couple of clouds here or there, nothing really to speak of. There's not a whole lot happening over our area, so we'll look coast side. That's the cold front that moved through our region. You can see, we do see some watches and warnings out there, severe thunderstorm warnings in different places from, really you're looking anywhere from Georgetown and Myrtle Beach all the way up through Wilmington and up to Atlantic Beach and Morehead City. We're seeing widely scattered showers and storms that might get a little bit rough at times. Now we're looking at temperature highs, as we mentioned, being a little bit on the below normal side, but not bad. 83, that's tomorrow and Thursday. Heating up Friday, Saturday, 89 and 91. No mention of rain during that whole time period. Slips back in those Sunday 30%, but Monday a 50-50 shot. Best rain potential for the next few days. And for Father's Day, look for that high temperature at 88 degrees with mid-80s to start next week.
Hello. My microphone is up. Am I the only one? Chad, are you up?
I think I'm up.
Oh,
hello, hello.
Oh, hi. Hi. We're seeing the top of Eric's head, which is always
Here you go.
a new view of the world.
No bald spot yet.
How's Facebook doing today? I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a long time. Eric, what are you talking about next?
We are talking about Girl Scouts and camps and cookies.
Is that really true that you're probably talking about this, that there are all these leftover Girl Scout cookies?
Yep. After my story, we talk about that and whether you would get them, whether you want them or not, that type of thing. Who wouldn't want them? But there were some interesting answers.
All right, Facebook, let's hear from you. Did you buy Girl Scout cookies? Would you still buy them now? Can we still buy them? I don't even know.
You can.
Oh.
I'm
Let's
not
hear
kidding
it,
when I say
Facebook.
there are like millions of these things around.
I do love a Thin Mint.
Freeze those babies. Awesome. You know, parents, it is that time of the year. How many times have you heard these words? I'm bored. Yeah, well, here's your answer. Girl Scout camps. I spoke with Charlotte Elliott, the director of outdoor experience for the Girl Scouts of the Piedmont, about this summer's camp experience. Charlotte, I'm a father of 4, so as a parent, I can safely say that parents are ready to get their kids out to do something after the last year. Let's talk about what's offered in the camps this year.
Definitely, and the children are definitely ready to get outside as well. So we have 3 different camps, and we offer your normal camp activities: swimming, boating, arts and crafts. We do some campfire cooking. We go ahead, we have stand-up paddle boarding, we have climbing walls, archery, fun outside activities. Though it's been interesting to see, the girls are just ready to see other humans and to connect with each other and really develop those social skills again, because they've been inside for a while.
I would guess there are still some safety measures in place for COVID. Talk a little bit about that.
Definitely. Camp doesn't look the same. The safety is our number 1 priority this summer, as it always is. But we have changed a lot about how we eat. That's the biggest area that there have been significant changes, purely because of the fact that that's one of the biggest areas of risk of transmission. When they are close together outside, they need to wear a mask, but we've engineered the activities to be distanced as much as possible so they don't need to wear a mask.
Well, and the key here too is that you don't have to be a Girl Scout to do this, right?
No, not at all. And we've actually taken a lot of new girls this year that are not Girl Scouts to join our programs, because we know there's so much demand for programs and such a shortage of staff that a number of camps have had to cut their sessions short camper-wise. And so we've definitely seen a lot of girls that are not Girl Scouts. Our programs are very much based around the social interactions, developing the leadership of girls, going ahead and really working on those character building traits that are necessary for everyone in life. And you don't need to be a Girl Scout to do that.
Well, everybody's excited about this, Charlotte. Can't wait to see you out there at the camps. It looks beautiful. Yeah, bottom line, you don't have to be a scout. You can go. Speaking of Girl Scouts, you might soon be able to get some more of the cookies. In fact, not might, you can. How about this? 15 million boxes of cookies went unsold last year. Should be against the law. That's all due to the pandemic. Thousands of girls couldn't sell the cookies in person. Online sales and even a delivery partnership they had with Grubhub did not make up the difference. So, as we said, about 12 million boxes remain with the 2 cookie bakers there, but another 3 million boxes are actually out with the Girl Scout councils all across the country, which are scrambling to sell or donate them because these cookies have a 12-month shelf life. So we asked people, would you be interested in getting the surplus cookies? Yes, Stephanie Reeves says, yep, always freeze mine. Usually they stay in the freezer for about a year. Terry Lipford said, are you kidding? Who do I call? They have a much better cookie than most on the shelves. Angela Hare says, sure, why not? They probably have an expiration date of a year from now anyway. And I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'd imagine that this really hurt their sales, because I know that I buy my sales from either your daughter Drew when she was a Girl Scout, but people, my coworkers who have kids in the program, and we weren't in the office when Girl Scout cookie season came around, so they couldn't ask me. I did buy some at a stand. But,
Okay.
yeah.
12 million. I don't know about you guys, but I don't care about that year shelf life. Like, I'm
I
going
don't
to eat
either.
them 6 months after that
That's right. I'm with you on
deadline,
that one,
and
Chad.
maybe a year
Oh.
after that. I
How do you
mean,
keep them that long? Like they're just gone once they get into my
Also a fair
apartment.
point.
Right.
Also a fair point. You know, I love Girl Scout cookies. I'm a big lemonades guy. Even any form of the lemon cookie that they have. So I'm gonna have to. Does Drew have some Girl Scout cookies?
She's
that
not
I
doing
can
scouting this year, and so I was highly upset with that. And
Yeah,
told her to question her
my
choices.
last large order.
I questioned her choices,
was
and
from
then
Drew.
so now we go to her friends that are still in scouts. But I need to ask about that because I haven't seen anybody trying to get rid of all these
I haven't been
Right.
solicited to buy.
And usually
Girl
they're
Scout
all over the
cookies.
place. Like you can't avoid them. Where
Right.
grocery stores or wherever.
I better check, because I guarantee you can buy them online. We'll have to look.
A
and
lot of
see.
boxes. That's a lot more cookies.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of.
I want
Let's
to
do
go in
quick
there.
math.
I want to see what it smells like in that big warehouse where they've got.
Probably smell like cardboard.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Please.
Well, I'd still like to
Plastic.
see it. Yeah.
I would too. All right, we're coming right back. Stay there. We're going to check this cookie situation out.
We are on Facebook. Head on over and chat with us.
Where are you on Facebook right now,
I
Maggie?
am. Y'all aren't. Where you at?
I'm going on
Actually,
right now.
I'm looking up
I'm
cookies.
there. Where's
Right
my
now.
Check it
phone?
out. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. So this Saturday is June 19th. While it may be just a day on a calendar to some, to others it marks an important day in history. Let's take a bit of a history lesson here to learn more about Juneteenth.
Open a U.S. history book, and chances are its author will quickly point out January 1st, 1863, the date President Abraham Lincoln, with one proclamation, orders and declares that all persons held as slaves shall be free. What that same history book might fail to mention is what happened to these words once they arrived on the shores of Galveston, Texas, more than 2 years after Lincoln wrote them. In the 1860s, word didn't travel like it did now, and in 1865, months after General Robert E. Lee's surrender, word of the end of the Civil War had yet to hit the southern state and its 250,000 slaves. And then came General Gordon Granger's arrival in Galveston, June 19, 1865, and General Order Number 3, all slaves are free. Juneteenth was born. While Juneteenth celebrations continued to varying degrees in the U.S. for decades, it would take until 1980 for Texas to become the first state to declare it a holiday. Today, 47 states recognize it and the District of Columbia, a chapter of our history for far too long left out of the books designed to document it. But no longer. Juneteenth, or as the National Museum of African American History and Culture now calls it, our country's second Independence Day.
And in honor of Juneteenth on Saturday, the city of Greensboro is hosting a series of events on Facebook and YouTube. They'll start at 9 a.m. and run until 8 p.m.
Yeah, and I've learned today the city sent out a couple of Juneteenth facts to our newsroom, and they've been honoring this for about 25 years now, that they've had events in the city of Greensboro. So I think that they definitely will be something that people will want to head out to.
And although last summer was a tumultuous one, I do know one great thing that did come out of last summer was just the uprising and support and celebration of Juneteenth. I know many people in many different states previously supported and celebrated Juneteenth before then, but just that rallying cry and the popularity has truly increased over the year, and that's something I'm very proud of.
I have to agree with you. I remember, we talk about Juneteenth every year, but I think that last year was definitely the year that it was on the forefront of most people's minds. I mean, if you think about the timing of it, it came just a week or two after all of the George Floyd protests erupted across the country. Right. I mean, even our company, Tegna, made a point of making it an employee holiday. Right. And added that to our list of holidays that we get every year. So I agree with you, Jalen, that I think, we've talked about it for many years, but last year was really when it was on everybody's radar.
I have to agree with that. And I think many more companies and municipalities are also honoring this as a day that employees can take time off, which is what we like to see.
Absolutely. Chilton.
Yes, let's talk about a forecast that looks like it's decent in the next few days. Rain chances are pretty much out for about 2 or 3 days. For us, that is. Coast side, they're getting some showers down that way, but temperatures are very good. Now, we pointed this out at the beginning of the show. When you see drier air, you've noticed the humidities are lower. Surely you notice that when you step out because you can feel it. You'll see bigger differences in temperatures. Drier air cools and heats more quickly. So Columbia, always hot, by the way, it seems like in the summer, but 93 while we're at 82. That's a big difference. And you go down to rain-cooled 79 along the coast from Wilmington down to the Grand Strand. They're cooler than we are just because of the rain and the shower activity that they've seen out there. You notice the hour by hour for us, though, as we head into the night. We're going to see some temperatures dropping down to the low to mid 60s. In fact, we're calling for probably 60 even, which means we may see some of those 50s in our northern counties. So let's look down east. That's where all the activity is. Showers, thunderstorms, severe thunderstorm warnings. All of this is moving pretty quickly, and we think it'll clear the coast as we head into the overnight period. We're going to talk about that 7-day. Our weekend is looking good, although we get hot toward the end of the work week and the first half of the weekend. We'll have that coming up.
You've likely heard the saying, each day is a new day. It's a chance to start over and step into an automatic new beginning.
Today, Coach Lamont shares the power of embracing a new day mentality in today's You Day moment.
Today is a brand new day, one that has never existed before. But for many of us, this new day looks and feels just like our yesterday. For many of us, this new day mirrors the cycles of our everyday. We ask these internal questions like, will it always be this way? Will my life ever change? And these questions are the very questions which haunt us, creating an anxiety we feel we can never escape. I want to speak to your spirit right now to tell you that things are going to be better. Why? Because you want better and you deserve better. Seasons don't last, they change. So create a mental picture of what you want and move towards that picture. Put a plan in place to go after your more. It is crying within you, telling you that you deserve this. So go get it, it's waiting. And when you get there, remember that you were always expected to be there. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
It's good advice. You know, a couple weeks ago, I did a 2 cents about day one versus one day. So you say, one day I'd like to do this. Why not take that and say, day one, today I'm starting to do this. And I think it's great. Nothing is ever final. You can always start over.
And you control whether you're happy or not. I had this, so I'm simplifying this a lot right now, but my youngest little boy, Tyler, was telling me the other day he didn't want to go, hates going to the grocery store and go errand running with Leslie. I said, look, you can make this fun, make it into a game. He likes to play Secret Spy. I'm like, do that in the grocery store aisles, like you're sneaking around it. And he was just insistent that this is going to be miserable. I'm like, buddy, you can control whether you're happy or not. You decide whether you're happy or not. He was not happy.
And sometimes it all happens right when you wake up. You know, there are some days when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and you have to force yourself, like, hey, we don't have to wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Sometimes I try to think of the things that I'm looking forward to in that day to try to change it around if that happens.
You get back in bed and then get on the right side? Or?
Yes, then I call in sick. No, I'm just kidding.
And then get up on the other side of the bed and swing through the house. Have a great day.
All right, we're coming right back. But we are live throughout the break on Facebook, and we would love to chat with you there. Y'all pull it together. Pull it together.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Up the ball, we can't do anything.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. The cast of characters has not changed. Maddie, Eric, Jalen, special guest appearance by Chad.
I know, Jalen, he always likes to make fun of me that he tried to get rid of me and make sure I didn't come back. He actually called me this morning when we found out that Lauren wasn't going to be here and said, you can stay home today. And I'm glad I didn't.
I feel like this is not true.
I don't think that is exactly how that went, but
No,
I'm not going to oppose.
But it's good.
I like that story better.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, we're always advocating for Chad to be here. You bring some fun to the show.
I appreciate that. I try to bring the fun, bring the heat, bring the fun.
Heat.
You bring the heat, I bring the fun, right?
Only outside. Yes.
How about I bring you guys the news?
Let's do
What do you
that.
think about it?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's go to it. We're going to get you caught up here this Tuesday afternoon with your 4 to 5 roundup. And we begin in Winston-Salem, where police say the man accused of shooting into one of their buildings may have also killed his mother and his grandmother. 26-year-old William Scott is charged with attempted murder of law enforcement officers after police say he used a semi-automatic rifle to shoot more than a dozen times into the department's District 1 office. Officers chased Scott for about 4 miles before he got out of the car next to Reynolds High School and ran into Haynes Park. Police say that he continued to shoot at them until officers ultimately shot Scott. He is okay, but while all this was happening, deputies in Forsyth County went to check on Scott's family and found the bodies of his mother and grandmother. 600,000 Americans have now died from COVID-19. Even though vaccines have slashed daily cases and deaths, our nation hit this grim milestone. The number of lives lost is greater than the populations of Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Burlington. It's about equal to the number of people who died from cancer in 2019. 2 people are dead and 2 hurt in Alabama. Police say a water plant employee opened fire on his co-workers this morning. Investigators say the shooter then killed himself. They found several weapons in the car where they found his body. Police do not have a motive at this time. And authorities are letting a chemical plant in Illinois burn itself out. They say this could take several days, but decreases the risk of chemical runoff into a nearby river. Soon fire crews will start using foam to put out the flames. This fire, you may remember, started early Monday morning at the Chem Tool plant. The company makes fluids, lubricants, and grease for machines.
Philanthropist Mackenzie Scott is back in the headlines today. The billionaire ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has become known for her impromptu huge donations, and she has done it again. She gave more than $2 billion to 286 high-impact groups. She says the groups are in categories and areas that have been historically underfunded and overlooked. They include colleges and universities, even places like the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in New York City. As more people get vaccinated and start flying again, we're seeing long lines at security checkpoints at the airport. The problem is the TSA might not have enough staff to keep up. According to a TSA memo, 235 airports are understaffed, with some airports short as many as 100 officers. They include some of the nation's busiest airports like Boston Logan, Denver International, and Washington Dulles. In some cases, passengers have been asked to arrive 3 hours early to ensure they make their flights. Experts say you need to be patient.
You can only travel when the airlines have flights going. And if they have flights leaving at 7 in the morning and 7 p.m., then that's when you go. And guess what? If all the other flights are leaving at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., then there's going to be a bottleneck. Everybody just needs to pack a little patience as they go to the airport this summer.
Part of the TSA's recruitment pitch includes a $1,000 incentive for new hires. It's also offering a $500 bonus to existing security agents who work overtime and on their off days.
After being closed for months because of the pandemic, a local favorite is back up and running with a little bit of help from an organization known as Triad Local First. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey has the story.
Well, the Summit Cafe has been in operation since 1989 and is a staple in East Greensboro. Well, in 2020, owner Nezia Martin felt some of the same feelings that you at home might have felt. She was anxious, not knowing what was next for her business or her employees. They applied for help from the SBA, but they didn't meet all of the qualifications.
In the beginning, talking about it again, it was very stressful due to the fact that we were unable to get the loan. We did try for it, but unfortunately we was unable to get it. We're small mom and pops. We do not operate off of 5 employees. So that was one of the issues that we had.
Enter Triad Local First. They're an organization that helps businesses who find themselves in situations like the Summit Cafe.
Fortunately, there are some other avenues out there, and just part of what Try Local First does is making sure that small business owners know what the options are out there. The CDFIs and those are community-based foundations that will support in the way of grants and smaller loans that can help small businesses like ours.
Now, Summit Cafe is now fully reopened. If you're a small business owner or you know of one who may need some financial assistance, I've attached all the Triad Locals First contact information in my web story on WFMYnews2.com.
I'm so happy to see that there are different outlets for people who aren't able to get that small business administration loan. We've heard so many people over the last year and a half, business owners, small business owners, who just couldn't get it. They couldn't. They just.
Didn't meet the qualifications.
Didn't meet the qualifications, and so I mean, a lot of people in this situation. So it's good to see.
I like the saying, when one door closes, another one opens. Well, it seems like Try Local First is really opening a lot of doors for local businesses who didn't meet those qualifications for the Small Business Administration loan. So I pass by Summit Cafe every day on the way to work. I'm glad they're able to keep their doors open.
Absolutely, and I was just glad that Try Local First was able to step in and, like you were saying, just be that bridge for some of these businesses that weren't able to get this assistance. And it would have been such a tragedy if the Summit Cafe wasn't able to reopen. Some of you may know I did the interview with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and before our interview, he told me he was at Summit Cafe getting him some breakfast. If you're an Aggie, you know about Summit Cafe, you've been there, you've got a story from your experience.
Very cool. Yeah. All right, Eric, what's going on with the weather? Other than...
I think she was going to say other than heat. We are not as bad, though, today as it has been. And thankfully, you get a little bit of a breeze and the lower humidities. When you see dew points in the 50s like they are now, and there's a chance in our forecast toward the end of the week, we may see dew points in the 40s. That's really dry for us, dry air out there. The grass will probably get a little crunchy between now and Sunday and Monday. Monday, by the way, our best chance of seeing any rain that might amount to anything. We have a chance on Father's Day, but it's only a 30%, which is normal for us this time of the year. But we're dry in the meantime. We're down to 60 tonight. 60 for this time of the year. That is really cool. Mostly clear skies. You will see a few clouds, but nothing big. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, still with a lower humidity, and we'll be dry with that 83-degree high temperature. That feels good this time of the year. Low 80s is perfect in my book. And you look out across the state, not a whole lot to see until you get to the east. Now, when you step down east, we're seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings pop up around Brunswick County and that area close to Wilmington. And we've seen thunderstorms everywhere from Myrtle Beach all the way south to Georgetown in South Carolina, and then back up to Morehead City in Atlantic Beach, the Crystal Coast getting some rain. All of this is moving quickly to the east, and that, of course, is caused by the cold front that is down there that we've already seen. So we're left with good conditions here. Let's look at the long-range forecast with low 80s in the short term. That would be for Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, though, we'll start to shoot back up again, 89, but look, no rain chances through Saturday. That's really unusual for this time of the year. 91 on Saturday, Father's Day, chance of an isolated storm, 88 degrees, and then the best chance of rain is a 50-50 shot on Monday with a high of 84. We'll hold that 84 into Tuesday with a 40% chance of normal late-day pop-up showers and storms.
So I think we would all say this is absolutely air-conditioned weather, is it not?
Yes.
It is.
Yep.
I mean, and it's not like suit weather either, is it?
No, poor Eric.
How you doing?
Or outside suit weather.
All right, how many of you grew up with AC running through your entire house?
I did.
Nope.
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 Window units for me.
I grew up so close to the Arctic Circle that we didn't even have air conditioning.
No such thing.
It just didn't happen. Like, you went into the basement where it was cooler because that's what you did.
Okay.
We had window units.
Yeah, so, and all right, and with that, we only had one window unit. It was in my parents' bedroom. So in the summer, you would shut off their bedroom, and then I would camp in their bedroom every single summer for a couple of months to sleep because it was way too hot to sleep without the AC, which is why this story is near and dear to my heart. It's all about window units and portable AC. Hey, check out Consumer Reports and how they test AC units.
We use two special environmental chambers where we raise the temperature up nice and hot, and we use the air conditioners to try to cool that space so we can figure out what's the best model for you to purchase.
All right, and this is kind of interesting to me. The newest kinds of window units are designed a bit different than the traditional AC unit. The U-shaped design allows you to open and close your window without it falling out. The installation is a little different.
It still does need a special bracket to be installed first. Once you do that, you can slide the AC into place in your window, and the window closes down into this U-shaped groove.
All right, Consumer Reports' top pick is the Medea for medium-sized spaces. It is about $360. Larger spaces, that price is still the Medea, but it's $470. Smaller rooms, they say less than 300 feet, you can pick up this LG for $280. Now, Consumer Reports did an entire web extra on portable air conditioners, and I do have to tell you, in their tests, they don't perform as well as the window units. But if you're looking for a portable AC unit, you're going to want to check this out, and I've put all of this in the Two Wants to Know section along with the recommendations for those window units as well. We'll be right back.
Mic check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 4 to 5 1 2. Mic check.
Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Okay, if you're not hip to the theater world, you've probably never heard of a ghost light.
I'm not hip to anything, let alone the theater world, so I have no idea what that is.
I gotta be honest, the only reason I know about this, fun fact, I was a drama minor at UNC.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So ghost lights, they light the
How about
stage
that?
when there are no performers there, and they keep the tradition of theater alive.
Right, WFMY News 2's Brian Bennett learned how a ghost light has turned into a full concert series at the Carolina Theater.
To some, it may just look like a simple light, but in the theater world, it's called a ghost light. Greensboro, Carolina Theater's Megan Kopp explains.
And some people say that it was originally lit to keep the ghosts away from the theater, but that's not actually it. It really is just a representation of the spirit of the theater, of live theater, and keeping a light burning on the stage so that the stage is never dark. It's always here. It's always ready for the arts to be a part of our lives and yours.
As a play on the ghost light theme, the Ghost Light concert series was birthed in the fall of 2020.
Of course, last year things came to an abrupt halt, but in the fall when we were able to open again with limited capacity, we started the Ghost Light concert series. And those original events back in fall of 2020, we just had 25 guests cap, and now of course our capacity is open again, but we wanted to keep the Ghostlight concert series going.
In doing so, fans are in for a real treat.
Thursday, June 17th, we've got the Sisters of Juneteenth, which is a celebration of Black women in the arts. And then coming up later this month, we've got Abigail Dowd coming in with her album release. In early July, Jasmine Kelly doing a tribute to North Carolina's own Nina Simone. And then again later in July, we've got Colin Cutler coming in with his album release. So we've got some great music on the horizon, some great arts on the horizon, and of course, more to come.
And as far as the Ghostlight's concerned, it may not be on stage too much longer.
We're excited to be here, and we're excited to, turn the Ghostlight off and move it off stage for a little bit so that we can have some live entertainment happening for downtown Greensboro.
Yeah, guys, and just for the record, I had no clue what a Ghostlight was. I just heard the word ghost, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go this way.
But I bet that Ghostlight's been on for a while since they haven't been able to have shows.
Yeah, so this Thursday they're gonna get some more performers back in there, and they're ready to put that Ghostlight, to the side for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so neat. It's such a cool concept. I'm sure it's been around forever. I just had never heard of it, just like you.
It has. They do that a lot. And the thing I love about the Carolina Theater, it goes back to the 1920s and 30s when its origins, and I love the history of that thing. Because you can build brand new theaters everywhere, but those old ones really have character. So this will be great.
Right.
But also kind of funny because the Carolina Theater is reportedly haunted.
Yes.
So that they have a Ghostlight may have a couple different meetings there.
So see, I wasn't even going to go there, Maddie.
I'm sorry.
If I had told
I love it though.
I did that story. And if I had told you this, you may not have gone, because we spent the night with a paranormal research group from Durham that came in, and they took readings, and they said when they left, and I saw what they did, and I was looking for, see if they were cheating, and they said that is the most activity they've ever had anywhere.
I'm sure they said that.
Yes.
While the cameras were on.
Actually, I watched them the entire. We were up all night watching that little meter go off, and they would ask yes or no questions, and it would react or it wouldn't. And I was looking at all their hands to see if they had remote control. It was pretty cool.
So do you think you would have gone back there?
At night.
That might just be my cue to kind of
exit stage left. Brian Bennett is exiting stage left. All right.
It was unsettling, I'll tell you that much.
I believe it.
And you believe anything at about 4 a.m. too, when you've been there all night. We'll be right back.
Y'all stop that.
I'm so tired.
A Triad Hospital is celebrating a major milestone. Today is Novant Health Medical Park Hospital's 50th anniversary. As I tell you more about the hospital and its accomplishments, we want to know and hear from you about Medical Park, the memories you have surrounding it, or maybe you know someone that works there or has worked there in the past. You can text 336-379-5775 to get some shout outs and be sure to include your name. Now, this is what the hospital looked like when it opened back in 1971. Over the decades, the facility has been known for its patient-first approach and dedication to the community. The hospital provides inpatient and outpatient elective multi-specialty surgical and procedural services. Some of the surgical specialties include orthopedic, plastic, and reconstructive and neurological. A spokesperson with the hospital says there are 18 team members who have been with the hospital over 25 years, accounting for more than 600 years of service together. And just to highlight a few of those amazing staff members at Memorial Park, Carol Smith has been with the Medical Park Hospital for 35 years in administration. And here's Debbie Center. She's been in the admitting department for 43 years. Diane Crawford on the left worked in housekeeping and environmental services for 30 years. And Marie Sides in the operating department for more than 41 years. And Mark had nothing but good things to say about Memorial Park, writing, "Great place to have surgery. They treated me like a king." Congrats to everyone at Medical Park on 50 years. For WFMY News 2, I'm Stacy Spivey.
I remember that place because I remember growing up in Mount Airy, a lot of folks would have to go there instead of the Mount Airy Hospital to get some things done, and my parents I remember visiting my grandparents when they would have procedures there. It's been a while for that place.
I love seeing the old-fashioned, the old hospital looks in that story
the
there. Yeah, all the
too.
nurses and what the janitorial staff was wearing too. That was fun.
I just love seeing old pictures from facilities like that. You know, we talked recently about Cone Health Women's Hospital, what used to be Women's Hospital. We saw a lot of old photos from that. Just, I mean, you know, if the walls could talk, the stories that they could tell of all the things that they've gone through. And I mean, even just the past year was probably one of the highlight is the wrong word, but one of the headlines of a hospital's history.
My sister was a nurse, and then my cousin, who was kind of the same age as my sister, they both ended up being nurses, and their pictures from, which would have been, I guess, about when that opened up, the early 70s, but their pictures of their nursing outfits, they had those little hats they used to bobby pin to their hair.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's super old school. I love it.
It's crazy to think that things that opened in the 70s are now 50 years old. Time is flying too fast.
I can say I remember the 70s. I even remember my earliest memories in life were my news memories. This is how we judge our first memories. My first news memories were Watergate and Vietnam, but I didn't understand. But that was the first thing I remember seeing on TV, and that would have been early 70s. That's how old I am. Interesting.
Young.
Craziness.
You're only as old as you feel.
Exactly.
I'm 17. Therein lies the problem. Yes. Let's talk about our forecast. Ask my wife. I said 17, she'll say 12. Here's what we're talking about with the forecast, and we're looking at temperatures that are a little bit better than where they usually are, and you will see bigger temperature spreads. I mean, look at Boone at 73, meanwhile we're at 82, but Columbia's at 93, and the reason for that, drier air across the area that heats and cools more quickly, and that's what's happening exactly. 60 will be the overnight low tonight, mostly clear. It'll be cooler, of course. It will actually feel great tomorrow morning, and if you have to get out early for work or anything, it's going to be wonderful. Even exercising outside would be perfect. 83, mostly sunny there for tomorrow. Again, the lower humidity. Just want to show you that most of the thunderstorm activity is down to the east around Brunswick and Columbus counties there. We will not see any of that. We'll be right back.
Mic check, Tim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It was really nice. Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee.
Oh, hi there. I'm sorry. I'm walking now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
Hey, headed in there right now. I'm going to get touch set up.
Oops, sorry.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. I can't walk and talk at the same time.
You what?
Buttons. Okay.
Hey, Mike, hold on. Hey, Mike, check. Crosby's just telling me how much he's going to miss me when I go. But is there a team coverage nod or anything like that? Let me know. Okay.
For me? All right. Scott is currently facing attempted murder charges for shooting at this building here at the substation.
It's time for my 2 cents. I've been thinking a lot lately about why we feel the need to explain. We explain why we say no to plans. We explain why we aren't married or don't have kids or why we have the job we have. Parents explain why they have a nanny or take their kids to daycare. We explain why we need a day off or vacation. We explain our appearance or why we work out. We explain why our homes are messy or the meal isn't homemade. Why? Why do we feel like we need to justify our life choices to other people? Are we seeking approval? We are certainly free to make our own decisions, and I'm personally tired of feeling like I have to explain why I make them. Maybe you feel the same way too. So I read a couple of articles about this. Psychologists and life coaches across the internet agree explaining is limiting. It drains your energy. Not only do you have to make decisions, then you have to explain them to everyone. It robs us of empowerment. We need to trust our gut. And when we're constantly justifying our choices, it makes us question them. It can even keep us from making decisions we know we need to make. Explaining makes you feel like you need permission. Do what makes you happy. You know yourself better than anyone else. Imagine saying no to a get-together when you already have too much on your plate and not feeling like you have to explain. Think about how nice it would be to take time off of work and not feel like you have to justify a break. Wouldn't it be great to have a friend over to your house and not say, "I'm sorry, it's so messy, I haven't had time to clean"? Be who you are, make the choices you make, and stop explaining when you don't need to. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
They did their jobs with compassion and dignity.
Winston-Salem